Weep alone tonight.
Some songs made you cry in your car, but you never knew the real story behind them. These weren't just love songs, they were written in pain, in hotel rooms, after breakups, after loss, after everything fell apart. The 80s gave us ballads that hit different. But the truth behind them? Nobody ever told you that part.
Yeah, I don't know if I can face that.
Some of these songs almost never got recorded. One was written in under 10 minutes, another was rejected by the label twice. These are the songs that defined a generation. And tonight, you're going to hear the real story. Stay till the end, because number 1 is going to surprise you. Number 10, Aerosmith, Angel. It's 1988, you're driving late, streetlights sliding across the windshield. The DJ says, here's a slow one from Aerosmith, and you almost don't believe it, because this isn't the wild, chaotic Aerosmith of the 70s. This is softer, open, vulnerable. Steven Tyler sounds like a man who's messed up and knows it. Angel was released in early 1988 from the album Permanent Vacation, 1987. It was co-written by Steven Tyler and Desmond Child, the same songwriter who helped shape many 80s power ballads. It climbed to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it one of Aerosmith's biggest hits of the decade. The lyrics are about regret and wanting someone back. No fancy poetry, just simple lines that feel real. This song helped complete Aerosmith's comeback after years of struggle with addiction and internal tension. MTV rotation pushed it heavy. Suddenly they weren't just survivors, they were contenders again. Desmond Child once shared that Tyler wrote parts of the lyrics surprisingly fast, almost like he had been holding them in for years. It lives in the shadow of Dream On and Janie's Got a Gun. But in the late 80s, this was the slow dance Aerosmith song. For many fans, this was their second chapter. And if you think that one felt personal, wait until you hear the next story. Number 9, Berlin, Take My Breath Away. Blue light, slow motion, the world feels still. When this came on in 1986, it didn't just play, it floated. It feels like that moment when you lock eyes with someone and time freezes. Released in June 1986 for the Top Gun soundtrack, produced by Giorgio Moroder and written by Moroder and Tom Whitlock. It hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and won the Academy Award for Best Original Song in 1987. The lyrics are about overwhelming attraction, the kind that makes you nervous but alive. The synthesizer production gave it that smooth, cinematic feel. It became one of the biggest movie ballads of the entire decade. Berlin didn't actually write the song. It was offered to them after other artists passed. Take my breath away. Funny how destiny works, because it's tied so tightly to Top Gun. People forget how powerful it sounds even without the jets and the movie scenes. But now, let's strip everything away. No movie, no effects, just pain. Number 8, Whitesnake, Here I Go Again. All right, number 10, and we're starting with a song that almost didn't sound the way you know it. Close your eyes for a second and think about driving. Not going anywhere special, just driving, windows down. That piano intro kicks in and something in your chest just opens up. That's what Here I Go Again does every time. Here's the thing. This song was actually first recorded back in 1982 for the album called Saints and Sinners, but that version, most people never heard it. It was slower, it was rougher. It had a different kind of energy. David Coverdale came back to it 5 years later in 1987 and reworked it for the self-titled Whitesnake album.
Like a drifter, I was born to walk along.
Producer Keith Olsen helped shape that sleeker, more powerful sound. And that 1987 version shot straight to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the US. As far as why the original 1982 version got overlooked, it came at a tough time for the band. Lineup changes, label pressures, and the sound wasn't quite there yet. It took that 1987 rework, tighter production, bigger hooks, more polish for the world to finally sit up and pay attention. And when they did, they never let go. The lone wolf on the highway, that's what this song is, and it will always be. Stay with me because #9 is the same band, but a completely different kind of feeling. #7, U2, With or Without You. It's 1987. You're in your car at night. Maybe you just left someone's house. Maybe the conversation didn't end the way you hoped. The radio comes on. That slow, steady bass line starts. Simple, almost hypnotic. Then the drums. Soft at first. The Edge's guitar shimmers in the background like distant light, and Bono's voice comes in. Not loud, not aggressive, but heavy with emotion.
Without you.
This song feels like standing still while your heart is racing. It feels like loving someone so much that it almost hurts. You don't want to leave, but you don't know how to stay. The song became U2's first #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in the United States. That's when everything changed for them. Before this, U2 were respected. After this, they were global giants. Musically, it was risky. One, it doesn't explode early, it builds slowly. The Edge used a technique with layered echoing guitar lines that created that floating, almost spiritual sound. By the final minute, Bono isn't just singing, he's reaching. That's power. The band struggled to finish this song. Early versions didn't feel right. In interviews, members have said they nearly abandoned it before finding the final arrangement. Imagine that. One of the biggest ballads of the 80s almost didn't exist, and because it became such a mainstream hit, some people reduce it to that U2 song from the 80s. But this was the turning point. This was the song that proved emotional depth could fill a stadium. Over time, louder hits like Where the Streets Have No Name sometimes overshadow it in rock conversations. But if you lived through it, you know this one hit different. And if that slow build gave you chills, the next song will take you straight back to the gym floor under paper streamers. #6, Night Ranger, Sister Christian.
Okay.
I want you to really listen to this story because this one is special. The drummer of Night Ranger, Kelly Keagy, had a little sister named Christy. She was growing up fast. Too fast, the way it can feel when you're the older sibling watching someone you love step into the world. He wanted to write something for her, something that said, slow down, you don't have to rush this.
Mr. Right. You'll be alright.
He didn't call it Sister Christian at first. He called it Sister Christy, but the melody made the "and" sound feel better when you sang it. So it became Christian, and the word motorin' came from that same feeling, this image of his sister just revving up, ready to go full speed into life. Sister Christian was released in 1984 from the album Midnight Madness on MCA Records. The production was crisp and radio-friendly, and the album eventually went double platinum. The song peaked at #5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and #1 on the mainstream rock chart. the fun fact. Kelly Keagy is the drummer. He sang lead vocals on this track, not the front man. The drummer stepped up, sat behind the piano, and delivered one of the most recognizable vocal performances of the entire decade. That's not something you see every day. The song has had a seriously long life beyond the charts. It was used memorably in the 1998 film Boogie Nights in a scene so iconic that a whole new generation discovered it because of that movie. Some songs get one life. This one got two. As for why Night Ranger doesn't always get mentioned in the same breath as the greats, they never quite fit neatly into one box.
Motoring, yeah.
Now, not quite arena rock, not quite hair metal, not quite AOR. And the music industry in the late 80s didn't know what to do with bands that didn't fit boxes. They fell through the cracks, but the fans kept this one alive. And now you know the real story behind it, one of the great unsung love songs in rock history. Full stop, number 5 is coming. And when it does, you're going to remember exactly where you first heard it. Number 5, Bon Jovi, I'll Be There For You. We're halfway through now, and I have to ask, which song has hit you hardest so far? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one of them. Now, number 5, 1989, the New Jersey album, Richie Sambora and John Bon Jovi sitting down together and writing a song that was essentially a promise. I'll be there. Whatever happens. Wherever this goes, I'm not going anywhere. That's what this song is. It's a commitment song. Not a wedding song, a real promise. The kind you make at 2 in the morning when things feel shaky and you need the other person to know you mean it. Richie Sambora's guitar work on this track is understated. It doesn't try to steal the moment. It just holds it together like a hand on a shoulder. And John's voice, he was at the absolute peak of his powers in 1989. The New Jersey album had already delivered multiple #1 singles before this one even came out. When I'll Be There For You dropped, it spent 4 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. 4 weeks. That album was basically untouchable. Here's the fun fact most people don't think about. Bon Jovi were from New Jersey. Working class roots, and that comes through in the way this song is constructed. It's not fancy, it doesn't try to impress you, it just shows up and means what it says, like a guy from your neighborhood who keeps his word, a promise that still holds up. Number 4 is about the night that Motley Crue surprised everybody, including themselves. Number 4, Motley Crue, Home Sweet Home. Number 4, and I need you to put aside everything you think you know about Motley Crue for a minute, because this is the part of our countdown where we get into the controversy. I teased it at the beginning as a song that the world got wrong, a story that most people only heard half of. This is it. Home Sweet Home came out in 1985 on Theater of Pain, produced by Tom Werman on Elektra Records. And from the second that piano intro plays, Tommy Lee, the drummer, sitting behind a piano and playing something genuinely beautiful, the whole game changes. Your brain says, wait, this isn't the Crue I know. And your heart says, but I love it. The song is about the road, about missing home, about the glamour of the rock star life being a beautiful lie that costs you more than anyone on the outside can see. Vince Neil sang it like he meant every word, and he did. Now here's the controversy, and I want to be straight with you about what actually happened. The song became so popular, so immediately intensely popular on MTV, that the channel faced a real problem. There are different accounts of how it played out, But what's been widely reported and discussed in rock history is this. MTV had to put a limit on how many times a single video could be requested and aired per day, and Home Sweet Home was a specific reason that conversations started happening. The demand from viewers was overwhelming. Some accounts say it was the most requested video in MTV's history up to that point. That's why this song isn't just music. It's history. It's the moment a band showed their whole hand and the world couldn't look away. Number 3 has no flash, no controversy, just a voice, a melody, and something that still stops you cold. Number 3, Bryan Adams, Heaven.
Nothing can take you away from me. We've been down that.
And this one is almost unfair. Bryan Adams, 1985, Reckless album, and a song so clean and so direct that it has nowhere to hide. No production tricks, no layered guitars to lean on, just the truth of it. Heaven is a song about that person. You know exactly who I mean, the one that made you feel like you'd finally found solid ground. The one where being with them felt like the rest of the world went quiet. Bryan Adams wrote that feeling down and somehow got it exactly right. Here's the fun fact. Bryan Adams has talked about how quickly Heaven came together. Some of the best songs do. There's a looseness to it, a naturalness in the phrasing that you can only get when a song arrives almost whole. You don't overthink those ones. You just get out of the way. Now, why does Bryan Adams sometimes get underrated in serious rock conversations? Part of it is that he was almost too accessible, too clean.
Your world around, bring you up when you're feeling down.
Too radio-friendly. The critics who wanted something more dangerous looked past him, but the listeners, the real ones, the ones who measure a song by how it makes them feel, they never looked past him.
It isn't too hard to see, we're in heaven.
40 years later, Heaven still does what it did on day one. One more deep breath before we get to number 2, because number 2 cost $1.5 million to make, almost didn't come out, and contains what many people believe is the single greatest guitar solo in rock history. Number 2, Guns N' Roses, November Rain. Number 2, and honestly, calling this number 2 is already controversial. Some of you are typing right now, I know, but here's why it doesn't take the top spot, and we'll get to that at the end. November Rain. Axl Rose had been carrying this song for over a decade before it was ever recorded. He had written it as a young man based on a short story by Del James called Without You. The story was about loss, about love that destroys, about the weight of holding on to someone who is already gone. Axl lived inside that story for years before Guns N' Roses was even a band. The song finally came out in 1991 on Use Your Illusion 1, produced by Mike Klink on Geffen Records. At nearly 9 minutes long, it became the longest song in Billboard Hot 100 history to crack the top 10 at that point. It reached number 3. The music video, directed by Andy Moroder, cost a reported $1.5 million. It featured a wedding, a funeral, and a desert. It told a full story. It was more like a short film than a music video, and Slash, standing in the middle of that desert, guitar solo. If you have ever argued about the greatest rock guitar solo ever recorded, this one is always in that conversation. Always. It doesn't announce itself, it just arrives and it tears through you. Here's the thing most people don't know. Axl Rose was dealing with a serious amount of personal turbulence during the making of this record. His relationship with Stephanie Seymour, who appeared in the video, was complicated and painful. And some people who were around the sessions have said in interviews that you could feel the weight of something very real in the way Axl performed the song. He wasn't playing a character, he was living it. Why isn't it number one? Because number one is the song that outlived the decade, outlived the era, outlived everything, and just kept going.
Hey, Rocklore community. Before we continue, let's have a real talk for a second, bro. You know, this isn't just a channel to us. And I hope it's not just a place you come to watch a video and then forget about it. This is a community. It's a place where we get to dig up the secrets of rock and roll, share our favorite riffs, and celebrate the artists who maybe didn't get the love they deserved. Right now, only about 1% of our viewers are subscribed. We can change that together and grow this community. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button with the notification bell on. When you do, you're not just helping a channel grow, you're becoming a member of the Rocklore family. You're signaling to us and to YouTube that these stories matter, that this music is worth preserving, and that this community is a place you want to be. Subscribing is your way of making sure you're always in the loop. It means you'll be the first to know when we unearth a forgotten legend, drop a new countdown, or dive into a piece of rock history you've never heard before. So if you're a true fan of the lore, if you get that same feeling of discovery that I do, then come join us. It takes 1 second to be a part of something bigger.
Number one, Journey, Faithfully.
Oh, that girl, you stare me.
And number one, I need you to understand something before we get into this one. There's a kind of loneliness that only comes from being loved. When someone waits for you, when someone believes in you across hundreds of miles and weeks of silence, when being away from home is your whole life, and you're not sure what that's doing to the people who love you. Neil Schon wrote Faithfully on the tour bus, and he said in interviews that it was about exactly that. The road, the sacrifice, the way a relationship has to stretch almost to breaking just to survive when one person lives their life on a stage. Steve Perry took those words and sang them in a way that made grown men cry in arenas all over the world. And they didn't feel embarrassed about it. That's how powerful it was. Faithfully came out in 1983 on Journey's Frontiers album, produced by Mike Stone and Kevin Elson on Columbia Records. It hit number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100, but that chart position doesn't tell the whole story. On rock radio, it was inescapable, and in terms of emotional impact, it might be the most emotionally honest thing this band ever recorded. Fun fact, the original demo of this song, when Sean first brought it to the band, already had that sweeping cinematic quality. The production didn't have to add very much. The bones were already there. Sometimes a song arrives almost complete. This was one of those times.